searching for what I believe in, and I must never stop rising, rising, rising. Never stop rising, rising, rising.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to another series. This time I want to... this is called the Community Series. The Community Series. Yeah, community. It's something we hear all the time. There's black communities, there's Hispanic communities, there's all sorts of communities. But it's so easy to overlook the importance of it. Even I didn't really care about it. Even though I'm involved in a community, I'm part of a community. It's something that I'm just starting to be more active outside of certain things. So this is episode 1 of this series. And of course, there's scripture I want to share with you. But first, I just want to clarify what a community is. A community, to be honest, there's many things, but to try and shorten it, is a group of people. It's a group of people who are always around each other, who get to know each other, who communicate with each other, who share with each other, and there's a support system in a community. So it's a group of people who know each other well. A community could be a neighborhood. Many times there's many to be honest, I wouldn't even call it a neighborhood. There's areas with many people living in, but there's no community there. People just live but don't know each other. There are people who live next to their neighbors and don't even know who they live next to. But when you know who your neighbor is, it doesn't actually have to be people who are in the same area as you. It could be people who maybe who believe in the same certain type of thing as you, or maybe it's just a group of people that you go to. For example, if there's a pub somewhere, a local pub, even if you don't live next to someone, but you always see that person in the local pub, even if they travel from far away, it creates a community. Everyone gets to know each other. People get closer with each other. People start inviting people to other people's birthdays. They may even hold their birthdays at the local pubs. Pubs are vanishing, to be honest with you. There's a sad part of that, but it actually creates a community. I hope that's helped the description, and there are many benefits to it. You get to meet new people. You get to make new friends, new relationships. You may even have deeper relationships through a community. There's a support system in a community. There's many amazing things that you could get from a community. And the scripture I want to share with you today regarding this is Hebrews 10:24-25. Hebrews 10:24-25, it says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." I'll read that again. "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." Now, this is talking about Christian community, but I think this is the definition of a community, or at least how you build one. It's saying that let us not neglect the importance of this. For example, now, I know that we have responsibilities. There's many things that happen in life. There's all sorts of things that keep happening in life. From maybe you have a job that just takes most of your day, and all you really have left is to get home and prepare for the next day. Completely understandable. But think about this, for example. If you're part of a community and this job is taking too much of your life and your time, and maybe you need some leeway to quit your job and find a new one, you may be able to find a job within that community. Maybe someone knows of a job. Maybe someone can support you financially while you find a new role. Let me tell you something deep. In the church that I go to, somebody passed away. And the pastor called a church is supposed to be a community, by the way, which is why I'm giving this example. The pastor called the family up because they're already struggling. I think they were struggling with financial issues or something. I'm not sure. But one thing that stood out to me is what the pastor said. They said, these people need money to bury their loved one, to take their loved one's body back home to bury it. And so many people came to give them money. In just the money that were given, I think it covered their flight and funeral expenses. I think there was even a family that was supported for 9 months because they couldn't work or something like that. I'm not really sure the full story, but this is what a community is supposed to do. A community is supposed to support each other. A community is supposed to be there for each other. People aren't supposed to be in isolation in a community. And here, the scripture is encouraging people to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. And that all this is saying is share love with people in your community. Build a loving community. A community with no love in it isn't a community at all, because in love there's giving, there's sharing, there's caring for each other and all sorts. And I want to draw this to what it means to be in a true Christian community. One, love has to be there. Two, part of the word community, communication, communion. There has to be people that you can talk to there. Have a real conversation. It's not forced. People that you relate to there. Three, there has to be people who are genuinely willing to love you as friends. As friends, that's what a community is. There should be a support system there. Now, I'm not criticizing churches when I say this. I'm just trying to give people looking for a church community what to look for. Sometimes people go into a group and they don't really know what to look for. They just trial and error it and see what happens. While if I walk into a new group of, it doesn't even have to be Christians, but I'm invited to something and I'm supposed to be going there on a regular basis, I'm going to start looking out for some kind of community. Why? Because it's important to me these days. I actually look around to see what values this group of people who are constantly around each other hold. Like, do they uphold the right values, or is there no values at all? Are they looking at meeting with each other, actually putting effort? I have a group of friends. As time went on, I don't see my friends that often, but we still put effort to meet each other from time to time, just to catch up, just to see how everyone's doing. At weddings, we do this so that we can still keep in touch with each other. I know that there are friends that I haven't seen in a long time, but if I called them up and said I genuinely needed their help, they will be there for me. That's what a community is. It's not just about meeting up all the time and nothing happening, but generally building real life connections that don't diminish because of time. When, for example, if I don't see my dad or my mom or my sisters for years, if I see them again, there's still love and joy just to see each other. But let's say there's someone you call a friend and you don't see them for a long time, and it's just nothing. As in, you see them again, and the friendship, the relationship, the connection you had is dead. I don't know if there was ever much to that to begin with. There's a certain depth that time doesn't diminish in terms of relationships and love. And that's what a community is supposed to provide. I'm not saying go in there looking for the deepest things you can find. All I'm saying is, it's important to have a community with love in it, where people want to see you, where you start stirring up each other to do loving things, better things, where you even compete to, not for the sake of attention to say, oh, he's the guy that did this, but when you see someone do something amazing, maybe they did something great for you, you actually start thinking about what you can do back for them. Who doesn't want to be in that group? Who doesn't want to be in that circle? Why would you not want to be in a group of people where everyone's looking out for each other, one way or another? That's what a real community is. A group of friends could have their own mini community. Do you have a community? Are you part of a community? If you are, look at what you call a community. Is it right for you? Is it good? Is it encouraging you to seek higher things, better things? Christian or not? Is it actually encouraging you, stirring you up to be more loving, encouraging you to look at the better side of yourself when maybe you only really see things you don't like in yourself? Sometimes we need that encouragement when we don't have good enough, maybe a high self-esteem. I've seen communities where something happens and everyone gathers to make sure that person's all right at the blink of an eye. That's a real community. So when I'm reading this, I'm just saying, even if you want that, if you don't see that in your circle, start being that change. Start being that value. Try and build it, because all it takes is one person sometimes. Love is contagious if done right, or in the right way for people. It's contagious. But everybody wants to feel loved. That's why even people who are involved in the wrong groups, they're looking for acceptance. They're looking for that love. Every human being needs love. Deep down, we all crave it, even if we don't admit it, even if we don't really notice it about ourselves. And that's what community is supposed to have. So when I read the scripture again, and let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. So he's saying not neglecting to meet together, think about how to stir up one another to love and good works. These are very important things in a community. If you're in a group of people that you call a community and is lacking, then do something about it. If you are in a group or a community and you're the person lacking, do something about it. If you're looking for a community, this is the stuff to look for. And that's what I wanted to share today, the principles of community. Hope you enjoyed the first episode. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you. Thank you. Later.
I must never stop rising, rising, rising. Never.